Okay, so maybe in the meantime, you can tell me about how you are doing. I know that yesterday you were starting a new course on Alzheimer's on iSoloBalboa, right?
Not exactly.
No.
We can actually like chit chat a little bit before people come and join us because it usually takes a couple of minutes,
Sure.
I think, or like a few minutes to join for people to join. But I can see a few joining.
Yeah.
Piotr, hello, Piotr. I can see Piotr join us. Okay. Actually, yeah. I told you before that I was planning to start a new Zoom series,
Yes.
and that was planned to be yesterday on Saturday. But all the plans got mixed up a little bit because,
Oh.
well, first of all, Andreas
Mm-hmm.
is also teaching online, and he's also teaching Solo Balboa, and he planned to start his Zoom classes today.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is his first day of streaming Solo Balboa with Andreas number 3, and actually he's doing it right now, like parallel to me. We're like basically neck and neck, and I totally I just thought like, why don't we do it like one after another rather than parallel?
Yeah.
Because I think it kind of drags the scene apart a little bit, and or maybe some people will have to do both, or some people will have to choose one in favor of the other.
Yeah.
So we talked with Andreas and we decided that first he will go with his Zoom series and then I will go after him.
Oh,
So we decided to do it like that this time.
so there is still time to sign up actually for the
Uh,
timer.
well, well, yes, but it is nowhere to sign up yet because I haven't even put up the
Ah,
Facebook event. But I will because I have more than a month to go.
okay. Yeah.
I definitely need to be a little bit, more on the top of the game because Andreas started to advertise his classes basically when he woke up on the 1st of January. Like woke up, okay, boom, let's advertise.
New year, new me.
Huh?
New year, new me. Like just 1st of January, I'm here,
Yeah.
ready
Yeah.
to join.
Hello, everybody. It's good to see you. Thomas, Joanna, Aurélie. We just chit chatted, not like really talking about anything in particular. Just waiting for people to join.
Yeah. So what's the plan for the class? Is it variations inspired by Alzheimer's moves and the way they are dancing? Is it?
Sort of, yes, because during the pandemic you have a lot of time, and I decided to really study this
Yeah.
subject and to really study like thoroughly the old timers movies. And actually, I started uh, teaching a little bit online, not online, offline old timers inspired classes back in Russia when I was in Moscow at the end of last year. So like testing with some material. But my idea was to like really study a lot myself and then pick up the elements that were characteristics of different old timers and then play with these elements to make something new out of it,
Nice.
to bring it to a new inspirational level. And then my idea was to per class take one person, maybe a couple,
Mm-hmm.
and then watch it, discuss a little bit what you see. Usually I think that that should be done before the class, and then during the actual class you practice the elements, and then you again improvise on the elements you have. And I think this is great way, first of all, to know the history of the dance you're dancing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But also to take inspiration from those people, and third, develop your own idea and your own style, yes, on the basis of these figures. So I think that old timers really possess a huge treasure chest
Yeah.
full of cool things, something that we haven't really thought about. So
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to these classes because I have already gained a lot of cool materials, and I'm like sitting here like a gnome, on a treasure, and really looking forward to sharing it. And I'm looking forward to learning myself more because I'm still working on it. It's a process.
Yeah. And also, I think it's the easiest way of learning is via teaching it, right? You really need to put it, apart and then together to just, show the exact knowledge to others. So I think it's the, good motivation also to prepare, while preparing the course, to actually spend some time on your own on old timers. And I feel like it's never enough. So
yeah, I totally agree. Yes, teaching is the best way of learning. Oh, actually, I progressed in Balboa by starting to teach early.
yeah.
So that was like half a year after I started dancing, like for real Balboa. I started teaching, and that was a big time for me. And I learned tons. I had to learn tons because of I had to teach it too. Yeah.
I know the feeling, and actually I think it's the fastest way of developing yourself. You really need to sometimes get to avoid watching the old recaps and stuff like this, but I think it's a great way, and actually of course it worked very well for you, because you started teaching I think internationally quite fast, was it, or do I recall it wrong?
Yeah, well, first I actually started to teach a little bit out of Moscow. That was my first. My first gig was in Russia, but outside of Moscow, and it happened in a city called Nizhny Novgorod.
Mm-hmm.
I had this gig with my Russian dance partner.
Uh-huh.
So that was my first. And then, well, basically all of the international gigs happened because of Andreas, first of all, because I inherited, first of all, a few gigs after Metta.
Mm-hmm.
Metta is, for those who don't know, this is a former Andreas's Balboa dance partner, well, not on Balboa, but dance partner. Yes, and I've just taken the gig mostly like as a heritage, because she started a family, and all of her time was devoted to the family.
Oh yeah, sure. But
Yes.
that's actually, I feel like you really went fast into the teaching life and traveling all over the world. Because just to maybe introduce us both, actually, because
Yeah, I
yeah.
think I have enough people, so
Yeah. So, okay, just to say that my name is Bogna. I'm owner of Hepcats company and a swing dancer with a soft spot for Balboa, and really, enjoying Balboa. And here with me, I think way, way, way more of you know Olga Marina, who is also a swing dancer, mainly focusing on Balboa, traveling when you can travel, traveling internationally, I think all over the world. I don't know if there is any continent that you haven't taught.
there is one.
Yeah?
There is one. Well, we haven't really taught in the South America. So
Okay.
in North America, yes, continent-wise, yeah, like we did teach in the US, and I was supposed to be teaching in Canada, but it never happened because of visa and pandemic.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, we never taught in South America.
That's a thing, that can be a goal for another year. So
Why not? We'll see.
yeah, and also Olga is running iSoloBalboa platform, online platform. And first you started as a local classes and tasters, and then you switched also to add it on the platform. But I think we will talk about it in a moment as well.
Yeah.
So maybe to just piggyback from the, our first question about inspiration. I really want to know, because I'm sure that you inspire a lot of people, but I want to know who is your inspiration, old timers wise, and also maybe, I don't know, new timers, how the current dance,
on timers, present timers
as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, let's talk about inspiration. Well, first of all, when I was just beginning to dance Balboa, I was watching all of the, big Balboa stars that were, popular, and they were inspiring for not only me, but for everybody else. I mean, I started in 2013 with Balboa, and I mean, who was top there? It was Jeremy and Laura, Mickey and Kelly. That was Kate and Bobby, I think. Yeah, they were teaching together back then. And yeah, who else? And I watched a little bit also like mid timers, if I can say so. And by that I mean Steven and what's her name? Oh, like the earlier couple. I already lack in the names, but yeah, I'll remember. I'll tell you.
Sure.
So I was watching all of these like contemporary video clips because I mean this is what we had access to, right? So I would also gain a lot of ideas and inspiration, and I actually did my studying a lot. I did watch specifically like one dancer, for example, I don't know, Laura,
Mm-hmm.
and I would watch like a few videos to try to see what her special thing is. Or I've been watching lots of videos of I know Teni Lopez Cardenas, and I would be interested to pick up like I was just generally speaking interested how people develop and show their personal style. So I would watch like some videos in groups, you know, like of one dancer in particular, like this. Yeah, and I think actually almost every like top level Balboa dancer at that time could be inspiration.
Oh yeah.
Meta Herlitz, former Andreas's partner, was also inspiration for me. Certain qualities that I was looking at, you know, not always the general picture, but certain qualities. And now speaking about old timers, I can say that the biggest probable inspiration for me is Natalie Esparza.
Mm-hmm.
So I watched her a lot, and I like things that she did, and also I picked up quite a few variations that she did, and developed a little bit. And both of us, Andreas and I, we did a few classes even on Natalie Esparza and Bartolo styles. Yes. So yeah, that was what I was watching.
Nice. And now, how do you keep motivated and inspired to dance and to develop your style?
Well, first of all, you of course watch the same people. I mean, it's still interesting what other dancers do. I mean, I would still watch, and not even the top dancers. I would watch, you know, every competition that I can get my hand on. Why not?
Oh.
And then I would also watch not only Balboa. I would watch other types of dances, and not necessarily swing dancing. So Lindy Hop, yes. Some solo jazz, a little bit of tap maybe, but also like tango or like modern dance, you know, like any type of dancing. I think that I would I do that, and yeah, and we pick some elements from there and we drag it and steal it into Balboa and kind of Balboaize it, you know,
Yeah.
like how can we do it with the Balboa spirit?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think watching other dance styles is also part of my inspiration thing. Yeah.
And how this is a shoe channel, shoe website and page. So I for sure have to ask you a few questions about shoes. So my first question is, how does the type of shoe you're wearing, the way the sole is and the height is, how is it influencing your dancing? Is it?
It does influence. It does influence a lot. And in the beginning, actually, I didn't wear too high heels. I mean, I think I wore maybe 2 inch or maybe less than 2 inch. Yes, and I liked it like one like height of the heel. I think there was only 2 inch. But then I think it was beginning of 2019 when I tried higher heels.
Yeah.
We were actually discussing, so I can show you this. These are my highest.
This is high. This is really high.
This is a 3 inch, and this is Arica Negris. So lots of Balboa people might know this shoe brand. It's a tango shoe brand, and but surprisingly, it's super comfortable for to dance Balboa in those shoes. So I tried this 2019 and I fell in love with them, and since then I've been trying to do most of the demos and competitions on these heels. So 3 each, or a little bit lower, I have another pair custom made for me, which is just a little bit lower, but
Mhm.
also pretty tall. And yeah, it just feels nice, you know. I feel like my posture changes. I feel like I have a different type of lines and shapes that I can create. So it definitely shoes, generally speaking, like how comfortable they are, they influence the way you dance, but also the height of your heel changes, like
Yes.
many things. The posture, as I said before, the lines, the shapes, maybe even the choice of your variations, because certain variations become easier or harder,
Yeah.
you know, like slides, for example. On
Mhm.
super tall heels you cannot really slide
Yeah.
properly, yeah. And yeah, so definitely the shoes
So,
influence the choice.
yeah. So, do you have any different pairs of shoes for practicing or teaching classes, and then different pair of shoes to social dance and to compete? And how does it translate? For example, do you when you prepare for a competition, do you prepare in the shoes that you will be competing, or do you have the a little bit of smaller heel or so or such?
Yeah, exactly. So when I teach, I would normally pick a shoe with a low heel,
Yeah.
like like as low as possible. But you know, and they don't usually look very pretty because I wear them all the time, so they look very shabby and all the worn out, and yeah, pretty, weather beaten shoes. And then for demos or for social dancing, I would choose like a nicer pair that doesn't look that, crazily worn out, and also taller heels, as I said.
Yeah.
And speaking about practicing for competitions, I would also try to practice in the pair that I am planning to do a competition. At
Okay.
least last few practice sessions, I would try to do like within the shoes. So if I'm planning to dance to do a competition in this pair of shoes, I would probably dance and practice in this pair of shoes the last few practice sessions. Yeah. So just to feel the floor, to feel the how you grasp and grab, have the contact with the floor. Yeah.
So how many pairs do you bring for a weekend of dancing when you can travel? Because this is just reminding that we will travel again one day. And yeah, when you travel, how many pairs would you of dance shoes would you bring?
It depends on the occasion. Like if we teach over a weekend, if it's just 2 parties, 3 parties, 4 parties, or if it's just teaching and social dancing, or if it is competition on the top.
Yeah.
But if we take, let's say we have a weekend, like 3 parties, then I would probably take 3 pairs, like as most.
Yeah.
Yes. Sometimes even 2 pairs if I'm too, like one for teaching and one for the social dancing. Yes, but if like there is competition or something involved, then I can take another pair or a few more pairs. And also I would think about the outfit. So I
Yeah.
would plan the outfits beforehand, so I know that okay, this pair of shoes goes well with this outfit, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I kind of know, and I prefer to take a pair of shoes that can kind of match more outfits.
Yeah, of course.
Mhm.
Okay, so you traveled the world and you, as we talked, have seen a lot of different continents and countries. And I was wondering if you noticed that difference, because recently when I was listening to a lot of interviews and talks, I've heard, for example, that in Europe we have more slippery floors than in the US. Is that true? Is that something that you noticed, maybe?
Some European floors definitely more slippery. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then again, if you go to, for example, ABW or Kalbal, there might be a place somewhere on the dance floor, like a secret spot, that somebody put some powder on, and then this spot, only one little segment of the floor is super sleek, and
Yeah.
you super fast. Yes, I think the fastest floor that I have ever seen in my life was in Germany, and it was Castle Camp.
Okay.
Well, Castle Camp, yes, in near Berlin. That was the fastest floor. I remember it was so hard. You could literally had to just to be standing it was really hard. You have to
Wow.
apply some, get some tone in your, but dancing that was like, it
Wow.
was super, super slick and super fast. And everybody was shuffling and sliding their feet off. That was cool.
Very amazing. So do you like using powder or wax to get them more of a slippery sensation, or
It depends what I do, what if I practice, or if I do solo practice or couple dancing, and again what floor it is, because some floor do need this extra help.
Yeah.
And but not all floors. Sometimes it's just too much, and sometimes depending on what I'm practicing, for example solo, I would need more powder, or I would choose not to at all.
Sure. Yeah.
So if the floor is like average floor, a little bit slippery, but I want to practice shuffles more, for example, or slides, yes, I would add more powder.
Yeah.
But if I want to practice turns,
Mhm.
let's say, this is not a good idea to put more powder on already averagely slippery floor, because that would make it so fast, then it would be really hard to gain balance, especially if you would practice in turns solo, because in solo you have to be extra toned and extra, balanced.
That's true. Yeah.
So I would definitely like, and I had a few privates I remember, which I used some of the iSoloBalboa privates. So for one class I used powder because we needed it for like shuffles and stuff. But then in the second class it was a pain because literally we didn't practice slides or shuffles. We were doing lots of turning and ball swing, and that was tough. That was tough. And after that, when boogie dancers came,
Oops.
yes, they basically told me off, and like I wrote a message on Facebook like saying, you should have cleaned, you Balboa people,
Oh
like
yeah.
slick floors, you should clean after yourself, because we boogie dancers cannot dance on your fast floors.
Yes. Yeah. I think that's a common issue with Balboa dancers. If somebody has a problem with the venue, that's probably because of waxing or putting powder on the floor. Because I think we also had some issues with that prior to at the venues. So I think it's a common thing. And for traveling and differences around, do you notice any different style of dancing, or just thinking about the dance based on country or city you are in? For example, more competition drive, or more I don't know, socially driven?
Yeah, it definitely depends. Each community is unique, and each community has its own like characteristics that are like specific for this community, for sure. And that depends mostly on who is driving the community, who are the leaders, the community leaders, and the main teachers, top teachers. Because if you take classes and you are a very diligent student, then you would most likely look like your teacher. Even unconsciously, you are copying the way they move. So this is very, how to say it, understandable and logical that scenes and the style of a scene is formed around that. And the same about competition. Yeah. So if there are a lot of competition happening in the scene and people like competing, then yeah, that's what's happening there. Yeah.
Do you have any events or places that you are really willing to come back as soon as possible? The scenes that are especially close to your heart,
I mean,
that we
yeah.
all should visit and see.
Yeah, I cannot stop bragging enough about Moscow, Balboa. Even though, funnily enough, when I was in Moscow last time, I didn't really dance much socially. I think I didn't go to any like regular social dance party, and it was really weird because I was in the country for almost 4 months, and I don't know. Yeah, but that was my choice. But normally, I would really recommend Moscow Balboa scene, and really like already been talking about this Korean Balboa scene, just for the passion and eagerness with which like people dance there, and also you would. I'm thinking about also like event spirit rather than the town spirit or community
Yeah.
spirit, because certain events, because they drag a lot of good dancers, like high level dancers,
Mhm.
so that creates the unique spirit of the event.
Yeah.
And then I like that, like Ballam has been very dear to my heart, because it was you know, new and vibrant, and lots of good dancers came there to study and just to dance and to compete. So that was a good Balboa beehive.
Yeah, I think people from all over the world, even outside Europe, came to Balboa last year. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is a unique thing for this kind of event, because you normally European events do not attract the people from other continents, so to say, like the US, for example. It's normally Europeans who would travel to the US
Yeah.
for Kalbal or ABW, but not vice versa. So that was like a ball what's a different ball game.
Oh yeah. Nice.
Game
Very
changer.
very nice. And I know that you started the iSoloBalboa movement. I don't know if I can call it that, but iSoloBalboa project and idea. Was it at some of the events that you started with Taster of Solo Balboa, or was it in Moscow or in Stockholm when you taught the first solo class?
Okay. Good question. Let me tell you honestly the whole story behind iSoloBalboa.
Yeah.
First of all, I mean, solo-balboa as such is not like a new thing. I can't say that I created it, because people been practicing any dance solo,
Bridge. Yeah.
with the free jaw, brushing their teeth. I just decided to like take it to a different level, to create like a brand called iSoloBalboa. Yeah, so it's just me doing this thing like more, deeply, and more structured, in a more structured way. I think that's what I did, is I created a system, at least understandable for me, and then I was trying to pass the system to the students. And it all actually started with back in 2015, when I was practicing with my Russian dance partner. It was my second Balboa dance partner, Sergey. And at that time, we were competition buddies. So we would compete. Yeah.
Mhm.
And because in Russia, the competitions are a frequent thing. So, like, there were quite a few competitions throughout the whole year. We had to compete to practice regularly.
Mhm.
And we agreed, we had like a deal with Sergey.
Uh-huh.
So we have to practice at least once per week, at least. And if we cannot make it, we agreed that we have to practice solo. So he
Ah.
will practice solo in his apartment, and I will practice solo in my apartment. And actually, that was a good idea, because we travel a lot. I traveled a lot already back then for Balboa festivals. So I wasn't in Moscow all the time. So we created a secret Facebook group, only me and Sergey. And those weeks that we didn't have practice, we would practice separately, and then we would film our solo practices and put it on this secret Facebook group. And then we would, encourage each other and comment on what we were doing. And then we would take each other's ideas and develop it. And like, oh, I like your idea. And how about if I take it to a different level and do something else with that?
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
So we were exchanging all these videos, and also we were discussing other videos that we've been watching, old timers and new timers. And until one day, I posted the video, one of my practice videos, not in this secret Facebook group, but like to general public on Facebook.
Was
And
it a mistake or was it on
yeah,
purpose?
no, by mistake. I didn't know. I only realized it only when people started liking and commenting on it. I was like, oh my God, what did I do? It's supposed to be a private video for just one person,
Oh,
because I was like talking something and then doing something and then saying something else, and and then I quickly brought it down. I mean, I deleted it, but people saw it. especially the Russian community, they some of the people were like, ah, Olga is doing something interesting. So, and basically maybe a few weeks after, I got an offer or the invitation to do a one-time taster for the follows.
Oh.
So one of the school um, heads, the heads of the swing dance school in Moscow Swing Dance Society, Larissa, she asked me like, why don't you teach like one taster for fun before the party? Yeah, we saw you doing something interesting, so we want to know what you're doing there, you know. And I'm like, okay, sure, let's do that. iSoloBalboa for the follows. So I did this first class, 2015, for the follows only. And already back then, I had leaders who were interested and said, why only for the follows? Can I come if I want to, you know?
Yeah.
And first class, I didn't have leaders. I just had follows, and it was like one-time thing. But after I did it, people like, whoa, we liked it. We liked it so much. Can we do more? And I was like, yeah, maybe we do one more and one more. So we started doing like weekly thing. And then I said like, okay, if you want it, let's have like a regular group, like a real regular group, iSoloBalboa group for everybody, not only for follows, but also for leaders, where I can share everything that I've been working on for the last half a year, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And this is how it all started. So me teaching regular iSoloBalboa group started in 2015, and then I did it for about a year, weekly classes, but maybe not every week because I would travel and I would be busy, but I did quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And this is how the system was shaped. So I was testing and I was trying and I was like coming with ideas, and then I was trying these ideas with the real people, my first guinea pigs group. And yeah, this is how all developed. And then when I moved to Stockholm, I actually did a similar thing, but only for a shorter time, because I moved to Stockholm and people like, wow, we want to know what's iSoloBalboa. Can we have iSoloBalboa here? So I started running a group in Stockholm, iSoloBalboa. It was also offline.
Mm-hmm.
But then those people who stayed back in Russia, they were like, but we want more. Why don't you do it online?
Oh, wow.
So, and that was me just answering the call from the universe,
Yeah.
or just people who wanted to still do some iSoloBalboa classes. And I'm like, yeah, maybe I should do online. And the more people found out about this project, the more I was asked to do. Like I started to be asked to do my first tasters, um, different festivals, and people tried it and they say, wow, this is cool. Can I have more? And then
Yeah. What year did you start teaching online? When did you move to Stockholm and started online classes for Moscow people at
well,
first?
it wasn't for Moscow, it was straight for the whole world.
Yeah, yeah.
So it actually took me a while, because I could probably start iSoloBalboa back in 2015 or 2016 maybe, because I moved to Sweden in 2016.
Mhm.
But it wasn't ready then. Back then I realized that this is a bigger project, and if I want to do it on a more professional level, not just to film, you know, videos in my bedroom, you know, with bad quality and bad sound and bad lighting. So I was like, no, I need to make it a more pro project. So it took me a while to find a web designer, to find equipment, to learn how to film and edit myself, because I did most of the work myself in
Yeah.
the beginning. Especially in some part, I also hired people later on to do some filming for me,
Mhm.
but I had to learn a lot and it took a while. So I started iSoloBalboa 2018. It was the end of 2018. This is when I went bravely online, and yeah, this is how iSoloBalboa was launched.
Yeah, I think I still remember because joined the classes during one of the first months of the
Yeah,
platform that was up, and I remember I was really impressed with the system, with the websites, and all of the different ideas and courses, the way they were, uh, differentiated. How do you say it? Sorry, English
Yeah,
is
yeah,
not my
yeah.
first language at all.
Yeah.
So
I understand you. Yeah, the way they were structured, or yeah.
yeah, exactly. And I know that you also recorded in different countries, or some of it in Spain, some of it somewhere else. So that's actually how to actually put it all together. That's really impressive. All of us now teaching, all of us who give any type of dance classes are now going through that way that you already had prepared a little bit. Do you feel like anything has changed as soon as the pandemic hit, and we all needed to adapt to a virtual reality? Do you feel like you were a step ahead, or did you need to change something for your online teaching because everyone was doing it?
Yeah, it's on the one hand, I was kind of on the top of my game because I had already a system. I had already classes, like hundreds of classes that had like structure and different drills, and but they were recorded classes.
Yeah.
So as a recorded class, that was a good thing to have on the top. But I had to learn how to teach on Zoom from the very beginning, from scratch, because it's a new environment for me. The way like interaction happens between you and a student, and you see like small, little screen segments,
Yeah.
and just the technical side of it, how to set up the sound, how to set up the picture, and share the music, and how to even teach. I think even teaching had to be uh, changed and paced in a different way.
Yeah.
It's a different pacing because yeah, and all this thing with different cameras, like foot camera and full height camera. Yeah, I definitely had to learn a lot, just like everybody else.
Yeah.
But the fact that I already had a system that kind of, yeah, gave me a little bit advantage, because, and I'm really grateful to it. I mean, I didn't expect the pandemic to happen.
Yeah. I was not thinking about that, but that's
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
uh,
you know that lots of people started to film lots of educational videos after. So yeah, so I kind of was a little bit prepared, even though I didn't realize all of my ideas, and I'm still in process. I have basically now I'm editing 3 courses at the same time now, so that I can launch them.
would you mind to sharing the topic of at least one with us?
Yeah, yeah, I can share all of them because I've been actually promoting this for already almost a year. I think that
Okay.
I'm saying like, yes, I'm going to release it. Like, yes, I'm going to release it. And I didn't have time, or like I was like injured or something happened, and or now I changed a little bit the idea of releasing the course. Now I didn't release officially course on slides and course on turns.
Okay.
That was like my new ones. But if you are a subscriber now, you can see some of the videos.
Okay.
So they're available, but only for the subscribers, because I didn't put up all of them, but only partially, like maybe a third of a course or 2/3 of a course, and only specific videos. And I can tell you why. Because in December and November last year, I did a choreo Balboa series.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so that was a new thing, and actually it's going to be a new course. I'm actually making this new course, and we're teaching this choreo. So those people who couldn't be with me on Zoom during that Zoom series could still learn this choreo.
Is this the choreo that you recorded recently? It's a very cool video. We posted it yesterday on the event. If you haven't seen it, you definitely should, because the editing and the idea was so much fun on it.
Yeah. We could talk about this later. But yeah, this is exactly that choreo. It's a little bit different because during the filming we didn't. We had to change certain parts to how fit the idea. So the actual choreo is actually more complicated, and a little bit. It had more certain parts that were not there yet in that film. But yeah, that's the choreo, and my choreo was made the way. It's not like how should I put it? When I was creating it, it was not meant to be like artistic project. It was meant to be a project to drill variations.
Okay.
This is basically a practice choreo or a drill choreo, so to say.
Wow.
So what I did, I put like more than 30 or 40 different variations in that choreo, different parts. So pure Balboa, ball swing, turns, you know, all of that. And I just put them together musically and on a repetitive basis. So every variation was repeated twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times on the right, on the left, you know?
Yeah.
Well, the whole idea of this choreo, again, this is not like an artistic project for me, was in the beginning. I mean, now it became a little bit more artistic because we film it.
Yeah.
But the way it is choreographed, it's a purely drill based thing. I mean, it's beautiful. You can also be like adding some cool lines and shapes. You can do that. But the first idea was to help you have some kind of framework to practice the variations, because people very often forget the variations. And now they have like one choreo where they have like 40 variations, and they're all, you know, put together musically and smoothly, so that they can remember them better. So that was my whole point. And so, as you can see, my choreo is very much linked to, generally speaking, iSoloBalboa project, because it's based on all these variations. So what I did during the choreo, I would refer my students, because most of my students were my subscribers as well. I would say, okay, this is part of the choreo, but if you want to train this and this and this element, you need to go to Shuffle's course, video number 1, to, you know, Loli's variation course, video number 3, and then, you know what I mean? So I was kind of thinking that, yes, and that's why I released course on turns and course on slides, partially those videos who were really important to be able to do certain elements in the choreo.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but of course I will release it more, and yeah, I'm editing like crazy these days. It's like from morning till night, but it takes a lot of time, especially when you're a perfectionist like me and you like cutting very little thing.
Yeah, all of you. I would have never guessed that you are doing all the cutting and everything on your own, you know, like on your computer and stuff. Because I was sure that you have a team that is filming, editing, and making everything, you know, for you, instead of you doing that. Also, guys, if you want to ask any questions, feel free. We see the comments. Yeah, Olga is a visionary. Yes, yeah.
Olga is what?
Veronique, I think this is how you say it. That says that you are a visionary. Very, very, very true. Yeah. So if you want to ask any questions, just feel free to write them in the comments, and we will take them. You know.
Yeah. Now I open. Now I open. I can see it.
Oh.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Stephanie and Lynette and Tomasz. Aloha.
Aloha. Oh.
Yes, guys, if you are interested to ask me anything dance related, or maybe not even dance related, I don't know, you can ask, you can shoot those messages. I would be happy to share my thoughts or my experience with you.
Oh, Veronique says that it is more funny and efficient to work on a choreo rather than to practice steps one by one. And I think that's exactly the idea behind it as well.
Yeah, I think it's also, for me, I think with the group we practiced a lot of musicality, even though it became more like a side perk, you know, like we didn't aim, but I hope that the people, when they were doing choreo, because everything was so put to the music, all the elements, so it kind of subconsciously trains your body to do something different when something different comes in the music. So I think that the way of doing this musical choreos is actually to train your musicality sense of musicality and sense of rhythm. So it's like a side note perk, I think.
We have a question from Johanna. how did you start to dance, and what is your background? Yeah, so this is the first, because I just a second question also came in, but then.
Okay. So, well, I don't really have a dance background before I started swing dancing. Yeah, so well, I have been pretty athletic kid, so I did a little bit of like running and martial arts and gymnastics, not for a long time. It's not that I spent years as a kid doing gymnastics or like I don't know, doing martial arts. You know, I was there's the new word called scanner, you know, people who try many things and not necessarily achieve a lot of things in the field. So I'm definitely that type of person. I'm a scanner, so I would try and do for a couple of years, and if I like it, then I stick with it, and then if I don't, not so into that, then I just move on to something else. So I did a little bit of like sport activities as a kid and as a teenager, and then I got hooked on Lindy Hop. So this is the first dance I started with.
You also have a musical background, am I right? Or
yes. Well, it's not a dance, but yeah, I have a musical background. My dad is a musician. Well, he's a music teacher, and he plays an instrument himself. He's a bayan and accordion player, and all his life he worked as a music teacher. Well, bayan and accordion, that type. So of course I was exposed to the music a lot, and you know, like all parents who are musicians themselves, they really want their kids to be something in music. So my dad had dreams, I think, of me becoming a pianist. So I did some piano classes for a couple of years, and I did some opera singing and generally singing with my dad for fun, and a little bit on the pro level when I was a teenager. And I was even supposed to enter a music academy and become an opera singer. Yeah, but it never happened. Yeah, so I had this doctor's examination just before the exam, and I was told that my vocal cords, the way they're built naturally, they're not very strong, and they're not very. So I was told some things, basically like you're not shaped for the opera singer career.
Wow.
And maybe that was right, maybe that was wrong. I mean, you know, a lot of people who are told, no, this is not your thing, and they still achieve, you know. I think it depends more on the passion. Maybe I wasn't passionate enough about this opera singing and stuff. I still like singing a little bit here and there, and I do sing when my dad plays the bayan, and we have like family gatherings, and we would sing some Russian romances and folk songs. That is a part of our like family gatherings thing. Yes,
this is so lovely. So music was around you like all the time when you were growing up, actually.
Yeah, classic music. My dad is really like very rigid and very strict about type of music. So now when I give him some jazz or swing to listen, he's like, this is like a too sad song, or this is like too energetic. From his ear is so trained for classical music, so swing is a little bit like almost too contemporary for him, but he likes certain things. Yeah.
Oh, very nice. This is so nice. So you started Lindy Hop. Then I know that you had also a little bit of blues dancing time, and then Balboa, right?
Yeah. So it was very clear periods of my dance career. So I was Lindy hopping. Then I had a year and a half of blues dancing, like quite intensive, and then I switched to bal. And since then, it's been bal on my mind and in my feet.
Yeah, and slow ball as well, as I know that you also enjoy a lot of slow ball, right? So another question is from maybe you know a little bit better how to pronounce the name Lynette. Lynette, I think.
Yeah.
How do you find Balboa partners?
Aha. Well, the truth is they find me. Well, half truth, because I actually did find a few partners myself. So my first Balboa dance partner found me. So this is how I started to dance Balboa. a friend came up to me at the social dance and said, Olga, why don't we dance and compete together in Balboa? And I was like out of the blue, because I wasn't dancing Balboa, never taking classes, but he just liked probably social dancing with me. At that time we danced Lindy Hop.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, but you could follow, you're gonna catch up, it's no problem. And this is how I started. So it was because of the leader who came up to me and suggested competing with him.
Oh, nice.
And that's all started. And I still call him like my Balboa godfather.
Oh.
I mean, it's thanks to him that I started dancing. And then we taught together with him for a year. So that's almost a year. But then he quit. And
Oh.
this is when I had to, like Lynette asked, try to do my best to find a partner. And so I did. So I was just when Vladimir, the name of my first Balboa dance partner is Vladimir. When he quit dancing, I was like, oh, what should I do?
What
I
did
love
you
dancing so much now, and Balboa is definitely my thing. Uh, like I really want to keep on dancing, and I just looked around, and I saw who is in the scene, because I was there in the Russian Balboa scene, who is without a partner and also passionate about dancing.
Yeah.
You know? And it wasn't so easy to find, because it should be also a good level. I mean, at least closer to your level. Well, now I know that you can basically take any level. If a person is passionate enough, they can grow.
But you were already teaching, right? So you needed someone you would be able to teach with already.
Yeah, but actually, I wasn't looking for a teaching partner, because I was teaching iSoloBalboa already then. So I was teaching by myself.
Okay.
And I didn't want to teach couple dancing back then. So I was just looking for a competition partner.
Okay.
So I just came up to Sergey and said, why don't we try, do you want to compete? And he was also, he didn't have like a solid partnership. He would compete. He was actually a competitor back then. So he would compete a lot, but with different partners.
Okay.
And I could see that he didn't have a one partner, like a solid partnership. And what I just came up and suggested, why don't we try and to become a partnership for this season, the season of competitions. And let's see if we like to practice together, because I think that you should find each other. Okay. Because if you don't share the same values, and you don't visualize the dance it kind of in a similar way, then it's hard for you to. You should click a little bit.
That's true.
For the partnership. So, and it went really well. I was very lucky that Sergey and we competed a lot, and we even ended up teaching a little bit, even though that wasn't our goal. So we taught a little bit in Moscow and outside of Moscow, as I said. And that, I think our partnership lasted for about 2013, 14. We started 14, and I think at least for 2 years before I moved to Sweden. I think it was 2-year partnership, and we were pretty solid. We would compete, and actually you can find even competitions outside of Russia. We would compete in Germany. Yes, and we would I don't think we placed first, but we would place second. So I mean, we're pretty top.
Very nice. Yeah.
Proud. Yeah. So yeah, this is how I started. And then for blues dancing, I think that was also like somebody suggested, like, why don't we try to practice together or do a showcase together? Yeah, I think I have always been very individualistic. Like, I really love teaching solo and practicing solo. And I mean solo, not only iSoloBalboa, but by myself.
Yeah. Also, do you teach anytime? Do you teach couple classes on your own, or you always teach with a leader?
A little bit. If it is an event, I can teach a couple classes by myself. Yes, because it's just a one-time thing. But for example, when I moved to Stockholm, and we have a local scene here with small Balboa crowd, and I started teaching for SSS, Swedish Swing Dance Society. And there I taught Balboa, not with Andreas. I was teaching, I had 2 other partners, Yeah, and that was really good because that was a good break from the partnership with Andreas, because we would teach it crazily too much all over, like everywhere. And that was a really good thing that we didn't teach locally together. So he would teach with a different partner or partners, and I would teach with a different partners as well. So locally we didn't teach. Now we teach a little bit locally. We have a private group, very, very small, 3 couples, and we teach together. But like regular classes, we never taught.
And for the dance partners in Stockholm, for the regular classes, was it the school that suggested you together, or was it your own idea that you just talked to each other and felt like it would be a good fit?
Usually you have very limited number of people who you can teach with. So, and you would think, who would be like a good partner, and also dances Balboa. So you don't have a lot of choice. So basically it's like a few people, and you teach different levels with these people.
Yeah. So another question we have is when you're dancing, do you think in terms of shua or in terms of 1, 2, 3, 4?
I don't count when I dance. I think shua, that's probably my thing. Yeah. When I, definitely. I mean, when you dance socially or demoing things, it's never like counting. It's you and the music and your partner, and whatever happens will happen. Yes, que sera, sera. Yeah. And you just go along with that, and definitely it's not about counting. When I teach, I try to do different approaches. I do count. I also do say rhythms, like you say shubaruba, and sometimes I say exactly like step, step, tap, step, jump, slide, for example. Like I literally tell my body what to do. Yeah. So I can hook the what I hear with what I do in my body. Yeah. So.
Yeah. So you use all of the options.
Yeah, but definitely not in when I dance socially, or it's not about counting. It's just about feeling and being in the moment.
Yeah, I think it may be also about the question. Maybe also about putting the training the step or something, or just showing it to somebody else. Also. Michelle writes, enjoying iSoloBalboa course, and will it be possible in future adding slow ball, or it would be a separate course?
Oh, that's Michelle. Thank you for your question. And actually, I was asked already these questions a couple of times. Oh. So those people who are really into slow Balboa, they were asking me, maybe we can do like solo slow Balboa course. That would be fun. Yeah. And sure. I mean, that could be one of the ideas. I mean, I have this list of ideas which I already had back like 6 years ago, 2015. So the whole system, it was created a long time ago, but I didn't have just time or like energy to put everything into practice yet. But that could be an idea. We'll see. But first, I need to realize the ones that I have already filmed. Yeah. Yes.
So if you guys have any more questions, then we will just give you a little bit of time. And so because it's an hour, we talked about half an hour to an hour. So but we can still stay. Is Andreas teaching his class behind you still? Can you?
Yeah, but he teaches for 1 hour and 15 minutes. Hold on. We actually haven't shown the shoes. We were talking about shoes, but we haven't shown one. I have this like one shoe in my head. Speaking about the heels, yeah?
Yes.
So, and the height of the heel. I want to show you like this difference.
Yeah.
Of the shoe. So this is the one that I have already shown you, the Arica Negris, like super tall shoe. And this is a Hepcats shoe.
Yeah.
The new it's actually like a secret thing that we can tell you now.
Yeah, we can tell. This is a prototype of our new model that Olga has, and we haven't shared it. I mean, we shared the picture, but not a lot of information. It will be available, but it's our highest, and for you, it's one of the lower shoes, right?
Yeah, For me, that's interesting, but this seems to be quite a solid heel, so we'll see how it goes. I haven't tried to demo or to practice in those yet. They're brand new and perfectly, intact,
Yeah.
but I'm definitely going for it, yes. And yeah, and this is awesome because, guys, this is like the prototype, so that means that nobody else have it. It's like one of the like, how to say, models, the one that you create to test, like a test run.
Yeah, exactly.
Model. And then yeah, I guess this is the only color, right? The only shoe in this color.
Yes, exactly, because it's a beige and gold, and the shoe will be made in one white and gold. So yeah, so this is a new one. Actually, I have another prototype. It's a blue ones here, but we won't make them in the blue. But it's the same model, and we are still looking for a name for this model. So if you have any ideas, oh, we are very, very open.
Yeah, I think that you could actually organize like a contest or like a brainstorming thing going on to create a cool name for a shoe model. Why not?
That's true. We have Jewel, we have Frontline, so it's always focused on swing dancing, idols or just steps like crossover. So it's always within the jazz culture, but we also Hepcats is a name based on the jazz culture. So we are staying within that, and maybe the competition could be a great idea. So I've seen that some comments have came. What advice do you have for leaders not to surprise followers with steps they don't know? From Christoph.
Okay.
This
well,
is a fun question, actually.
I think, you know what, Christoph, is you cannot not surprise your follower, because generally speaking, the follower does not know anything what will happen in the next moment. Yeah, so this is kind of, so to say, follows destiny, not to know and always be surprised. But I mean, you can be surprised in a pleasant way and not so pleasant way. I think anybody, and not even follower, can be surprised in a not super pleasant way when the leader is doing like being too tense or too like jerky or that kind of thing. But then again, we're also different, and maybe what's tense for one partner, it's not so tense for the other, right? But generally speaking, I would start thinking about, first of all, comfort of your own body. You as a leader, you should do things that are comfortable for your body first and foremost. And then just listening to the way your partner and your follows or moves. I think that could be one of the tips, and maybe taking the idea or the inspiration or the impulse from the movement of the follow. Yes, so I think listening skill is a great one. It's great for the both roles. And yeah, I don't think you should be afraid of surprising your follow, because surprise can be nice, as I said. But being listening and sensitive to each other, this is like a both role thing. Yeah.
Very nice. I really like the distinction between being surprised in a nice way and then in a way that is not so pleasant. I think this is the thing we are supposed to be thinking, the terms we are supposed to be thinking in, instead of surprising or not. I really like it. And then I see another question. Oh, it's do we make shoes for white feet? Actually, yes, and this is why I started the company and I started designing the shoes, because I did not fit very well into the shoes that were available in the market. So they are made for the regular feet, and then they do expand if needed to the white shoes. So so actually this is why I created the brand, because I was selling shoes in the Herang Lindy Hop shop, and I was trying all the models that were up for sale then, and I couldn't fit anything. And I've seen that girls were also having the same problem, buying shoes that did not fit them and needed to change the shoes after an hour or so. So that's actually our goal, our mission. So yeah.
I think it's very important. Yeah, because
Okay.
Dancing for a long time on high heels can be pretty tough for the feet.
Yeah.
So we really have to wear something comfortable.
Yes. That's true. That's true. Also, I feel like sometimes with a higher heel, because I used to dance ballroom dances as a child, when I was smaller, and then I would really have an issue with dancing on high heels for a while. So when I started using the swing dance shoes, it was like completely different world, because it was so much more comfortable for me. And also I think tango also has that really nice quality of dance shoes.
Yeah, the ones that I showed to you, Arik and Igris, yeah, they're very good. I don't know how, but they definitely take into consideration the anatomical structure of the foot.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, it's very important for me when I was learning shoemaking and construction of a shoe. I felt like there is only one way of constructing and designing a shoe that would. In the eyes of my teacher, would be a good shoe to wear. I felt like there is only one model, and it has be the exact height, the exact sizes and measurements to be comfortable. Then it wasn't as strict. Actually, when I started designing the shoes, it wasn't as strict as he told me. But then you really need to think about that. The how do you say it? All the way the feet are made.
Measurements.
Measurements. Yeah, yeah,
Measurements.
exactly. Sorry, I haven't spoken English for almost a year now, so I'm
It's a
just,
good beginning. It's a good
yeah,
beginning.
getting tongue twist.
So what's your? This is going to be like a series of talks, right?
I hope so. I hope so. I hope that you guys like it. So yeah. Also, Martin is saying that I hope I'm saying the names right. I'm an iSolo subscriber now. Thanks for the recommendation. Oh, that's so nice. I think that it's a perfect choice, especially nowadays, to join the iSolo platform. And Krzysztof is referring to the stories of boogie dancers. Are there steps from boogie appropriate for Balboa, or of course slightly modified?
Why not? It all depends on what you like, Christoph. Yes, I think there are no limits. You don't have to like limit yourself. Okay, you can only like do Balboa and Balboa steps. Inspiration is everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, if you like it and it feels comfortable to your body, then do that. And you know, don't listen to those people who say it's not Balboa or it's not that. I mean, you. The question is, what do you dance for? Like for your own pleasure, then you should do things you love.
Yeah.
You know. And I always add like and feels comfortable to your body, because it's super important as well.
That's true.
Yeah, so yeah, but definitely if you like boogie woogie, still some cool stuff from there. And I think they have a really cool footwork stuff. The boogie dancers, like the way they rhythmically work with footwork, that could be beneficial. And I think because they have so many like basic boogie woogie basic, it has so many more like weight shifts and stuff, so they actually help you, generally speaking, to develop the technical point like aspect of stepping. So I think any dance enriches you for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Another question I see on your site, you recommend buying one size smaller. Oh yeah, because the issue with, so it's the question to me, sorry. So the issue with sizing is that each country and each company has a slightly different sizing options. So we noticed that majority of our clients that we've seen at festivals were actually going for a size smaller or their regular size. So we do recommend to check also a smaller size if you are in between sizes, and if you are the straight size, then checking the measurements of the feet is also a good idea. But we noticed that it's either the exact size or the one size smaller fits the best, depending on countries. But we didn't want to, actually split it into countries, that this country usually goes one size smaller and this country is usually the, you know, the good size. So yeah, so it's in between the regular and this size smaller. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. And I always, when speaking about the size of the shoes, I always think go for bigger, because I mean, if it's a little bit bigger, then you can use padding. You can use special insole, and this is actually a thing that I've been trying to use more. And maybe I was thinking even maybe I should have developed something like a special insole for a Balboa dancer, because I think the padding, I mean, makes a whole difference. Most of the shoes I wear, especially the tall heels, I have different types of padding on different types of insoles.
Yeah.
That help me to spread the weight in different way. Like, for example, to bring more weight onto the heel rather than onto the toe, or just to soften a certain part where my feet touches the shoe. So I definitely prefer a slightly bigger, and then I would, you know, try to modify the inside interior, sort of interior design of my each shoe differently depending on how it fits.
Oh, that's interesting. Because we try to make the insole that is built into the shoe. It's quite you know, comfortable, and quite there's quite a lot of insole inside our shoes. So it's not like you are feeling the floor very much like with loafers or such. So I usually don't go for the insole, but I remember that when I was wearing the, for example, ballroom dancing shoes, I really needed, because you can really feel the floor, and I would get tired a little bit afterwards. But actually in our shoes I don't wear insole because I don't need it as much, but in depending on different companies and on what you actually want from the shoe. Because for example, old timers of Balboa used to dance in loafers that were almost like super thin. I know that it was a super thin sole that you can...
Interesting. Have you been watching old timers dancing like a lot? Did you get inspiration from those shoes, or?
Not really, no, because I used to touch, because I go places and touch shoes, but and see quite a lot of it. Also recently, when maybe that's a bit of personal stuff, but when you and Andreas were staying here, I also get a touch of his loafers, and yeah, I would see how that works, and also when I was constructing shoes, I would get a hold of quite a lot of different types of soles and see how that works. So yeah,
I think somebody should make a one talk with you specifically, how you created, you know, the whole brand, and how you like design shoes, how you get inspiration, or where you get inspiration from, because it's quite interesting. Yeah, and I can tell you, because I was a little bit involved in the process of designing one pair of shoe.
Yeah.
And I actually have one pair I can show you, custom made shoes, and it basically was this measure. You can see also pretty tall heel. Yes, so this one exists only one pair in the world.
Yeah.
And I like was involved in the process of designing like the model and drawing and picking the colors and picking the fabric, and you know, trying to, it was a lot of interesting things going on, and I enjoyed it. Of course there was a person who did most of it, but we discussed a lot of things that, and she was knowledgeable about it. I mean, she made custom shoes for Russian dancers. Yes, only it's not like a mass production, so she doesn't do it like mass, you know, produced stuff. But yeah, it's very interesting process. So you should share it with people. People
Yeah.
are interested.
If there is a need, I would love to, because I thought that yeah, sure. It's always like if something is your reality and you hear about it and see it every time and every you know, all the time, you're just, it's a casual thing for you. So it's.
I mean, we can ask the guys. Guys, would you be interested in hearing how people design shoes? Actually, I don't know.
Actually, I see that Stephanie wrote that it would be interesting to know about designing and making Sure. Yeah, actually, that's thank you, thank you. That's a good option. So I've seen also the question: are the soles flexible? Yes, they are at the beginning, not as much as after you break them in, but they are not as flexible as like ballroom dancing or tango dancing shoes. Not at all. So they are something in between. You would see the casual shoes and tango or salsa dancing shoes. Yeah. So you can, yeah, exactly.
It's
uh,
pretty. It's very nice and thick, so you definitely won't feel like the grain on the sole, you know.
exactly. And
uh,
also, I feel like breaking in the shoes is really important part of, because you want, that's why you buy leather shoes, so you can break them in and make them exactly like custom made for your feet. So that's why I feel like breaking them in is a really huge part of making them your own. Yeah.
mm,
I
mhm.
seen
I have
Patricia,
one more question. Yeah, I
really
can
fun
repeat.
question.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you would like to see change or improve in the Balboa community? I think it's a good question to sum everything up.
Interesting question. I need to think about. But first that I think about that I would like to see the diversity in tempo on at the parties.
Mhm.
So because I think stereotypically people like believe that Balboa normally danced to faster tempos. I mean, 200 and up.
Yeah.
And this is what sometimes DJs are aiming at, like 200 and up, and a little bit lower, and a little bit higher than that. But come on, guys, there is such a thing as slow Balboa,
Yeah.
and why don't we dance Balboa even to meet tempos? We had
Mm.
actually had a recent discussion with some Russian DJs about playing mid tempos at the Balboa party, because why not? You can still dance Balboa. Yes, it's gonna be slower, but you can still dance it. Not a Lindy hop, right?
Yeah.
So speaking about that, maybe just so that you can really practice all different tempos from like 100,
Yeah.
maybe even a little bit lower to 200 and something, and I think that will give you like more fun and practice, even so that you can even develop like and listening skills and technical skills, because dancing slow is a pretty tough thing by itself. You really have to be control of the balance of your lines, of your shapes, on little minor details. So I would love to hear more like variety in the music festival at the parties. uh, Community wise, um, well, I nowadays during the pandemic, it's hard to talk a little bit about like how should we develop communities.
Yeah.
But I would definitely want. I think Balboa community is a pretty united one. Yeah, so you really feel like there is a special atmosphere. I mean, I don't know. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I had this feeling when I shifted from going to Lindy Hop events to
Uh-huh.
Balboa events. For me, Balboa events are a little bit felt cozier and a little bit more, you know,
Also, the community is smaller, so it's more gathered somehow. And yeah.
yeah, could be like that. But generally speaking, maybe it's because of the nature of a dance, because we dance closely most of the time, not most of the time, but more than Lindy Hoppers. So I really love that feeling. And yeah, I just wish that we have a very like integrated community, and you know, with getting back to traveling so that we can all reunite on the dance floor and get inspiration from each other, and also like more understanding that Balboa is not that rigid, that allow the dance to evolve. That's maybe the one point that I wanted to say, because sometimes people like, oh, this is not Balboa, oh, this is not like this, or they are a little bit too Lindy Hopish.
Yeah.
I think we should allow a little bit more for more diversity and variety, so that maybe something else will evolve out of it. I mean, because I don't think old timers would think about this. Yes, they would just dance, and they would just enjoy it, and yeah.
Very
So
nice.
may Balboa as a dance evolve, and maybe we can create something beautiful.
Yeah.
You know.
Very nice. I think this is a great summary to everything that you have said earlier. To just have the coziness and openness to different styles and different people. Yeah, and I hope that we will be able to see each other in real life very soon. So yeah,
Yeah,
thank
let's
you
hope.
guys. Yeah, thank you guys for joining us. It was very much fun. I was so stressed. Olga was calm and helping me to go through it. But it's really nice, and I really enjoyed your questions. And it will stay up, so you can go back to different parts of it. Thank you, Olga, so much.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It's been really fun and pleasure to be joining as a first guest. And I really wish you lots of luck with your project. I mean, and offline with shoes and also with these interviews,
Thank you.
the HepTALK thing.
Yeah, thank you very much. And remember to go to iSoloBalboa website, and also I invite you to Hepcats website, as we have not only shoes, but last week we added also a notebook for swing dancers. So it's a
Yeah,
fun thing.
I've seen it's a cool idea. You should definitely check it out. We can just post this link down in the comments later on. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Bye.